Hey, good morning, everybody, and happy Easter. Welcome to the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. And we are rocking it out today. We are going to be doing POTA activation. And I know there's a lot of regulars that are in the chat, but we are expanding the live streaming today. So Facebook, YouTube, both horizontal or portrait and landscape. So if you just stumbled across this and it looks funny and you're on a computer, look for the horizontal one, the portrait. Yeah, no, landscape. And then also the portrait mode too. Partly because we're also on Instagram too, which is primarily a portrait media format, and then Twitch, Rumble, and X. Yeah, so there you go. We are live this morning out here at the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. Checking in this morning, Aaron, right off the bat. Good morning, everybody, and happy Easter. Robert checking in this morning from New Jersey. Good morning, Robert. Jimmy also checking in from Texas. Good morning, Jimmy. Leaf checking in this morning, and actually worked him last night from here in the park when I was over here. So good morning, Leaf. Elodie checking in from the other side of the pond. Good afternoon. Robert checking in this morning saying happy Easter, Tim. It's a rainy morning in sunny central Alabama. Robert in Montgomery. So Rodney checking in this morning. Happy Easter, Tim, and everybody. Good morning. Don checking in this morning. Don, good morning. Ronald checking in this morning with happy Easter. Happy Easter. James, a friend, Corky QRP James checking in this morning. Actually, it's probably pretty early for him. It's was it 6 a.m. So early bird gets the worm. And Dave checking in. Good morning, Dave. Mesh-tastic, your mesh dealer, Dave, checking in from the Circle 6 Ranch in Texas. Cooley checking in this morning. Good morning, Cooley. And Steve checking in this morning also. Good morning, Steve. All righty. Well, I don't have a lot to talk about this morning. I do want to thank the members, the channel members, strolling down below there. Once again, this is something I enjoy doing, but there is obviously a cost to doing it, and their support just helps subsidize some of these events and everything, live streaming and everything like that. So I do appreciate that. Thank you, everybody who are our channel members. But yeah, it's been a kind of weird day. Last night I was on Josh's live stream, not on the live stream, but on the after chat. It was actually a light load of people that were on the Discord. Usually there's quite a few. I think some of Josh had a internet issue, and his 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern live stream got delayed a little bit, and I'm not sure. I think because he had been off for a couple weeks, doing family camping events, stuff like that, scouts and such. So I think maybe that's why they're with it starting late, that people just assumed that he wasn't live streaming again that week. But great conversation. And one of the things that had come up in the conversation they were talking about is the trading bros, the stock bros, and this push to use HF in a way to transmit stock trades, bypassing the fiber optic, the national fiber optic network, to literally cut milliseconds out to do that. So there was an interesting discussion. If you're were there, it was great. If not, go back and watch the after chat live stream last night. Steve, who is a RF engineer, talked about this kind of extensively. He has done some research, dove into what they're looking at doing, looked at the type of transmitters that they're wanting to do, the bandwidth, and what that means for us as amateur radio operators, because a lot of the spaces that bandwidth that they're a lot of the frequency ranges that they're looking at using is adjacent to amateur radio, and so could it cause us harm in the form of, is it going to raise the noise floor? Is it going to be a direct interference? Is some of the the harmonics of it going to cause us interference? Because seems to be that this is just it's experimental right now, the licenses that they have, and so it could be all over the place, and possibly trying different modulation types and such, and what's that going to entail? So interesting discussion, and I want to follow that, because I actually, part of my day job is IT and getting data from point A to point B. RF does bypass that, but it brings its own set of complications. So one of the things I brought up last night was, is the juice necessarily worth the squeeze, in the sense that, yes, on at the small level, instantaneously your trade could get from point A to point B a little bit faster, your transaction, but at what cost? And that's one of the things, I think that still needs to be flushed out, and even pennies, small things across the bigger spectrum may financially be beneficial for them to do that. But then once again, what does that do to other users of the RF spectrum and joining to what they're doing and interest? So longer discussion last night, but definitely something to watch. Steve, I think you can get the comments, but there was an article that Steve had posted from a professional trade magazine that talked about this, and I think it was more from it just in the broadcast space too. So it's interesting. James says, so now I can work DX and buy Tesla stock while using WSJTX, right? And James, if you do it right, you can do it from your iPhone in the bathroom. So that's really what we want to do. Elodie says, I'd rather be buying stock in the major RAM manufacturers right now. That is something that I am dealing with at work, and I'm watching because I've got my ear to the ground on all the major manufacturers of equipment: Cisco, Dell, HP, Supermicro, and they're doing things now like basically, if you're not locking it, they used to give you a quote for 30 days. Now it's like 3 days, man. You got 72 hours, and if you don't commit to it with a PO, and even then, if there's enough of a jump in price, they're not honoring that. They're canceling the order and asking you to reorder it with an updated price, which is kind of interesting. I spend on average just my the base server. So I do virtualization. So that, if you're familiar with VMware, that's the primary thing that I work with. But Proxmox or any of those things where you're making virtual machines and running them on physical hardware. Our base uh, server is generally at a minimum a terabyte of RAM. Uh, when you run virtual machines, all that stuff sits in memory, and every one of those servers, of those virtual servers, you configure whether it's 8 gigs or 16 or 32. That all sits in memory. So we generally run about a terabyte of RAM right now. So looking at those prices, it's pretty um, up there. Good news is, we buy new equipment on a regular basis, so we had just refreshed everything that we were going to refresh for the next 12 to 18 months already. So that part of it was fine. But then also when you look at expansions and stuff like that, um, then that is another one of those things. It is crazy. So Aaron says everybody needs 50,000 watts of power. I agree. I agree. Aaron says they've been reduced to 14 days in the power industry. Yeah, they're just I can understand volatility in the market with pricing and stuff like that, but uh, and when this first came up on the thing, our salespeople from our various vendors were reaching out and saying, "Hey, they're looking at this day." Actually, if I remember right, it was February 14th was Valentine's Day. Talk about a kiss of death. Um, when you're basically saying you need to have your anything you want to buy in the near future locked in by I think it was by the 14th, and that might have been the weekend. So going into the Monday, um, the and within a couple weeks, then it was basically 14 days, and then now they're basically so much volatility in it, and a lot of that is oddly enough driven by AI, but it's not really AI. It's not AI in the sense that that's a workload. It is a workload in itself. What is happening is kind of interesting if you watch the business, um, the business sector of IT. There is this FOMO, fear of missing out. Companies are being told that you need to introduce AI into your thing, because if you don't use AI, you're going to lose out. Problem is nobody really has defined how you use it. There are some use cases where AI is a very exceptional tool and it doesn't. And for example, we are I do IT and I'm in the healthcare industry. So uh, we have uh, programs that are utilized that would take uh, mammograms, uh, the radiography, I think is the word, the 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 imaging from mammograms, and post process it using AI, looking for anomalies that a radiologist may not see with the naked eye right off the bat. That is a great use of AI. Um, Maybe some of the agentic AI where you get agents in your uh, typing. Possibly. I mean, it just that all depends on the experience that you get and how much you put into it and how they train it on the backside. But most of what we're seeing, and the term has been pushed around there, AI slop. Um, it is just thrown out there haphazardly, and just to say we're doing AI, and it's gotten pretty bad in the sense that where's the value? And I think that's kind of what they're missing. I ask that question all the time when people say, "Hey, we want to do this." My first question is, "Well, what's the value to the business?" And I think a lot of times they're so focused on it. We got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it because we cannot be, because if you're not first, you're last, right? And they dive just headfirst into something with no real plan, no value for the business. They want to just say that we're AI first, whatever. And um, that has created such a um, drive in the industry that I personally don't think is sustainable. I've watched the IT bubble bust once. I watched companies, even like Cisco, for example, uh, one of the top routing switching companies during the last AI bubble, or not the AI bubble, but the last IT bubble. Um, Companies were running out buying 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 deep pieces of equipment because of a artificial fear of not having it. And then what happened is that everything just kind of poof went away. And companies like Cisco did really well. But then there's all this gray market equipment sitting on a shelf, brand new in a box, but never used, still valuable. So how were they selling it? eBay. And all this thing went out on the eBay market as new, uh, technically used because it was previously owned new equipment, and prices plummeted. They couldn't sell new stuff because there was a bunch of it out in the wild, and it financially hurt a lot of these manufacturers. And I honestly foresee a lot of that stuff um, coming in the future because companies are buying this memory up, for example, and components and things like that. And at some point, people are going to realize that there's needs to be value to the business before they just run off and do it. And I think it's going to come back and it's going to bite a lot of companies in the rear end. I see cases where there's a lot of them. We must adopt AI, spend a bunch of time and money on it before they figure it out, the justifiable use case that actually can give you an ROI. It's madness, and that's absolutely where a lot of this stuff rolls in. Rodney says, I'm involved in building data center physical building control systems, PLC. And yeah, it's crazy right now. Absolutely crazy. They're even here in my community. I'm in the county just south of Marion, which is where Indianapolis is at. And Indianapolis really doesn't have a whole lot of room, open space to do that. It's pretty occupied county now. But the surrounding counties still have a lot of agricultural farmland, and where it's cheaper for not selling it to a housing developer. It's things like this where they got room to expand and can buy large tracts, and everybody wants to put data centers in all over the place. And the it goes back to the cloud, and that's another one of those areas that I am involved with. Um, Somebody else's data center is a revolving theme in the industry, or organizations like Gartner, for example, convince companies that here's the next latest thing that you need to do, creating that FOMO. But really, what they've got is this big, like, 7-year cycle of always constantly moving the goalpost to support their relevancy in the industry as some kind of thought leader. And what is new today was old yesterday. It just goes around. And in my 30 years of being in the industry, I've seen the same stuff over and over. It's just cyclic. And cloud is no different. And so now everybody's running to do all this, and because that's the way to go. And um, you know, it is what it is. Um, Lucas asked if I monitor 2 meter while I'm while I'm at the park. I don't necessarily. I've got an FTM 400 here in the truck. I do get some interference. The RFI from the HF will actually cause the radio to flicker, and it's restarted a couple times. So I usually don't do the two side by side. So um, Jimmy says AI is going to most likely be real life Skynet. I don't know, but it, you gotta ask yourself where the safeguards at, um, and you also have to ask yourself, um, there are people out there that display um, through their actions that they are using AI to tell them how to navigate through life, tell them what to do. Everything is through the lens of what's the AI going to tell me to do? That concerns me. That in and itself really concerns me. In the sense that problem solving and troubleshooting, navigating life's problems, you should have the relevant skills to be able to discern different sources of information and make a decision on whether or not the information that you're reading is way out there, far fetched. And I get it. Like one thing that I see a lot is just about every time now anybody makes a claim on X, there's usually somebody following right up at Grok. Is this real? you know, uh, okay, maybe that you can get multiple data points and validate if something is real or not. But then I see people who just basically like they're given a challenge, and instead of analyzing it, they're just immediately going, uh, "Hey Grok," or "Hey Gemini," or "Hey Google," or whatever, and they're not um, they're not utilizing one, common sense, but two, critical thinking skills. And at some point, you start looking at uh, the movie Idiocracy, and you start saying, "Well, how is this any different from the storyline in that movie?" You know, Brondo, it's got what plants crave. There was that slogan they kept repeating over and over again, and I really uh, has me concerned. Aaron says robots scare me. iRobot is about 10 years away. Uh, and then Robert says he's waiting for the AI brain chip. It's already there. Neuronet, I think that's what they call it. Um, a, what's his name? Elon Musk is doing something with that, and I think they've actually got it embedded in a couple people. I don't know. I don't know what it does, but has me a little concerned in a way. But if I think it really does go back to just critical thinking skills. People being able to um, troubleshoot, work their way out of a bag. I mean, one commentary that you hear a lot, they've been pushing um, computers into the school, more and more stuff done on the screens, less and less done by hand with a pen and paper. My kids are, my two kids at home. One wasn't old enough for school, but my middle son lived the COVID nightmare that they put those kids through, and um, he has suffered educationally from it. I think he's pretty much back, but now it's taken 5 years to get him ahead of the game. But one commentary you hear a lot is that um, the elites don't allow their kids much access uh, to computers and tablets and stuff like that. They, I don't know if that's true or not, but it makes sense. My kids don't get a whole lot of time um, on the computer. They know how to use it as a tool, how to use it to go research stuff, but we encourage and enforce a lot of reading and doing it. And I'm also now dealing with the teenage kid that you know going back to the old well, I don't need to show my work, I can do it in my head kind of thing, and that kind of battle. But I'll take those battles if he's still doing the work by hand. um does that mean they shouldn't use a calculator to do math? Yeah, use a calculator, work smarter, not harder, but also be able to know and understand um how to break a problem down. He actually ripped some multi-level equation off the other day, last night at dinner with my wife, and her eyes just glazed over. But I'm glad that he could do that. So, um, all right, well, let's enough rambling about me and AI. So let's go find a frequency and get on the air. Oh, forgot to do it while I was here. By the way, at the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. So that's what the lake looks like today. It's a little overcast, and it's 40 in the 40s right now. So straight out, and then there is the ATOS. So today we will be using uh, the Yaesu 891 here in the truck because it is a little chilly out there, and the ATOS. I did have the opportunity to come out here Friday night. I did a live stream, just a quick live stream, um, and activated the park. That was a good time. It was in the 70s. So I got the JPC 12 out, ground mounted vertical, and the ICOM IC 7300 Mark II, and made some contacts. Had a great time there. So all right, let's bring some stuff in. is the frequency in use. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is the frequency in use. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot.
It's all yours, Tim.
Is the frequency in use. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is the frequency in use. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US-4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US-4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo Juliet 4, Uniform Lima Zulu.
Kilo Juliet 4, Uniform Lima Zulu. Julie, good morning, 59 plus.
Good morning. Is it cold up there?
Yeah, it's in the 40s. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, I imagine you're not. You look cold.
I hate the cold. Hate it, hate it, hate it.
Well, you know, you always have a bed here in Florida.
I'm going to start taking you up on that more often.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're not in Florida, though. We're in South Carolina today.
Did you go to the Ham Fest?
We did. Roars was great. Bill showed up and we hung out with him. We hung out with Rob and Christy at POTA. They were fantastic. It was a really great Ham Fest. Needed a couple key vendors like an ICOM or somebody needs to show up, but otherwise all of the major players were there.
Awesome, sounds good. Did you get a chance to meet Stavros from Lomesh?
Come again.
Did you get an opportunity to meet Stavros from Lomesh?
Yes, we did. We got one. We got a ranger.
Awesome, sounds good. Hope you guys like that. I just ordered one myself.
Oh, absolutely. Vaughn did a spot for him, so we're going to be posting that. They're great. Apparently 3 weeks. That's unheard of.
Cool. Well, hey, Julie, thank you for the contact. Is Vaughn around? And get him in the log.
Kilo Golf 4 Victor Echo Tango.
Kilo Golf 4 Victor Echo Tango. Vaughn, how you doing, my friend? 5-5.
Well, we're finally starting to get a little sleep and the road off our rear ends. But hey, you're sounding fantastic here in Columbia, South Carolina. It's a beautiful day. We had some breakfast casserole. What? Oh, Julie wants to know what her signal report was.
Well, she was a 6'7", 67.
6'7". QSL. All right, have a great activation. Big 7-3s. We'll holler at you when we get back to Florida.
All right, sounds good, my friend. You guys have a safe trip, and we will talk to you later.
7-3. Happy Easter.
All right, happy Easter, my friend. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, yours, Ed.
Park to park. Whiskey 2 Alpha. Park to park.
Whiskey 2 Alpha, Mike. Good morning. You are 59 plus into my park, US-4215.
Roger, Tim. Whiskey 2 Alpha, and make sure you log November 2 Mike Alpha Kilo at US-6532-6532. I got your park 4215, and you are a 5-5 here into Western New York here on Easter Sunday. QSL.
I copied the 5-5 from both the Whiskey 2 Alpha, the Autism Awareness call sign, and November 2 Mike Alpha Kilo from US-6532. Mike, have a great activation today in 73, my friend, and happy Easter.
You too, brother. POTA on 7-3.
All right, POTA on. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ.
Kilo Echo 2 Hotel Mike Kilo QRP.
Was that Kilo Echo 2 Hotel Mike Kilo? I copied the 5-9. You're little in the noise right now, about a 4.8, 48, but I understand your QRP. All right, 73, my friend. Happy Easter. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. The Kilo 3 station. Hang on just a second. Well, what was that? You faded out on me. One more time. My park is US-4215, 4215.
Okay, thank you.
Call sign November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, NW9F.
Thank you. 73.
All right, 73. Happy Easter. Kilo 3 Romeo Juliet Sierra 59.
Roger. I'm in Park US-1374 in Papa Alpha, and I'm going to say you're 53. Over.
I copied 5-3 from Uncle Sam 1374. You're 5959 into the park today into US-4215.
Roger. Thank you for the park in 73.
All right, have a great activation today in 73, my friend. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US-4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
QE-195. Yeah, you're covering up the POTA station.
CQ Parks on the air, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Delta. This morning, Bill. Say 5 to you.
The Kilo Mike 4 station?
From you. You bet it is. Not from you.
The Kilo Mike 4 station?
Phil out there. Anyone else? Kilo Mike 4, Juliet Kilo Delta.
Kilo Mike 4, Juliet Kilo Delta. Jeff, got you in the log 5-9, my friend.
QSL, I've got you about 5-4 in Virginia.
All right, thank you for Virginia this morning. Have a great day today in 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ.
Kilo Delta 3, Bravo Victor Foxtrot.
Kilo Delta 3, Bravo Victor Fox. Good morning, 5-9.
I think you said 5-9. You come in about a 5-5 here in southwest Pennsylvania.
William, I copied the 5-5 into Pennsylvania this morning, my friend. Have a happy Easter in 73.
73.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
November 3, Juliet Papa.
The November 3 station? Is there a November 3 station?
Go Yankee, good morning.
Hey, happy Easter. This is November 3, Juliet Papa.
It was here has been here for about the last 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't hear him, but yeah, there's a lot of rag tube that goes on right here. So, wasn't aware, POTA guys. You know, contesters have to adapt to changing band conditions, and they don't own a frequency when they're running 10 watts on a picnic table 1,000 miles away. It's just not how it works.
Yeah, copy that. He's running 100 watts out of a mobile vehicle, but yeah, I can hear him in there. No, okay. Carry on. K5 TUE.
November 3, Juliet, Papa.
Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Kilo Bravo 5, Uniform Tango Yankee.
Kilo Bravo 5, Uniform Tango Yankee. Dave, good morning. 5-5. Kilo Bravo 5, Uniform Tango Yankee. Dave, good morning. 5-5.
You're down on my noise, but I can barely hear you. You're about a 5252.
Hey, I'll take the 5-2 from the Circle 6, my friend. Thank you for the contact this morning. Happy Easter in 73.
Kilo Echo 4, Papa Tango Papa.
Kilo Echo 4, Papa Tango Papa. Clyde, good morning. 5-9.
Good morning, RPM. You're 5-9, Murphy, North Carolina.
All right. Thank you for North Carolina this morning, my friend. Have a happy Easter in 73.
73.
All right. Thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo Echo 6, Kilo Echo November.
Kilo Echo 6, Kilo Echo November. Ken, good morning. 5-9 plus.
QSL, copy 5-9 plus. I've got you 5-6 in South Carolina. Thank you for the activation.
All right. Thank you for South Carolina this morning. You have a great day today in 73.
7-3.
All right. Thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ.
And 0 November 3, Juliet,
K5 TUE.
The Juliet Papa station. Is there a Juliet Papa station?
Juliet, Papa.
One more time with the call sign for Juliet Papa.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Happy Easter to you. You're about 5-4 in southwestern PH, east of Pittsburgh.
All right, copy the 5-4 into Pittsburgh. Can you give me the full call sign again, please?
Try it again. What was my signal to you?
You're also about a 5-4-54. Can I get your full call sign, please?
Okay. Hey, thank you very much. Actually, I'm watching you on YouTube, so that's why I turned my computer down and listen to you this way. So, hey, happy Easter. Okay, it's a cloudy, rainy day, cool day here in the Pittsburgh area.
He's making your full call sign.
Oh, November 3, Juliet, Papa.
All right, November 3, Juliet Papa. Thank you very much for the contact today. Have a great day today in 73, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ.
Kilo Delta 8, Mike India Victor.
Kilo Delta 8, Mike India Victor, 5-9 plus, Mark.
Good morning, Tim. 5-9 Whiskey Victor, and I have a club call for you if you like it.
I copied the 5. I think you said 5-9 into West Virginia. I'm ready for the call sign. Club call.
Club call, Kilo 8, Victor, November, Quebec, K8BNQ, 5-9 Whiskey Victor.
I copied 5-9 from Kilo 8, Victor, November, Quebec, Mountain State Transmitters. Thank you for the contact today. Have a great day today in 73, my friend.
7-3.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo Charlie 4, Bravo.
Kilo Charlie 4, Bravo. Got you in the log, little faint, 5-1-51. Thank you for the 5-5 from Alabama, my friend. Have a great morning at 73. All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ.
Kilo 5, Mike Papa, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. This is KD0 OCD.
Kilo 5, Mike Papa Delta. Michael, good morning, 5-5.
Okay, Tim, this is Mike. I'm in Oklahoma today. You're a 5-2.
I copied the 5-2 in Oklahoma, my friend. Thank you for the contact today in 73.
KD0 OCD.
All right, 73, my friend. What there was a KD0 station?
KD0, Oscar Charlie Zulu.
KD0, Oscar Charlie Zulu. Bryce got you in the log, 59.
73, 52.
All right, thank you for the 52, my friend. Have a great day today in 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Alpha Echo 4 Romeo Charlie.
Alpha Echo 4 Romeo Charlie. Roman, good morning, 59 plus.
Hey, thanks for being out there. I've got you at a 5-7 here in Central North Carolina, QSO.
Is anybody on the frequency W4 PGT?
W4 PGT. Hang on 1 second. Working another station. Alpha Echo 4 Romeo Charlie copied the 5-7 from North Carolina, my friend. Thank you for the contact this morning at 73.
Are you going to be finished by 10 o'clock? We usually run a round table for about an hour here.
Yeah, I'll be done by 10.
Somebody repeat that.
I'll be done by 10 a.m.
There'll be a round table.
W4 PGT. Say that one more time. I didn't quite have you tuned in.
You can go elsewhere for your round table. You do not own a frequency.
I'm not claiming to own a frequency.
Sure sounds like it.
We're the only station I can hear. You don't seem to have a call.
You need better radio.
This is Wendell.
Who the hell is Wendell?
CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA. CQ POTA. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA. CQ POTA. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US-4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. All right, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot going QRT, QRT, QRT.
November 4 Alpha Tango Juliet.
TUE 195, listening.
November 4, was that Alpha Tango Juliet?
November 4 Alpha Tango Juliet.
November 4 Alpha Tango Juliet. Tony, good morning, 59.
59 North Carolina.
All right, thank you for North Carolina, my friend. Have a great day today in 73.
73, happy Easter.
All right, happy Easter. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ POTA, CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. All right, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot going QRT, QRT, QRT. Well, there you go, guys. That was interesting, nonetheless. Gilly said it. Interesting. Live sad ham drama. I don't know. It is what it is. Don't if you experience that when you're out operating in general, you know, I kind of, I head down, shoulder in, and I will just continue to operate. I'm not going to let them bully me off a frequency. And as you saw, that was some of what those guys did, or that guy, or whoever it was. And not much different than that one morning where the guy's yelling at me about being in the AM window, and you know, whatever. If the frequency isn't being used, it isn't being used, and that's okay, right? You're entitled to use any frequency that falls within your band privileges, and don't let people bully you. I mean, we all have to get along, and there's definitely that. You know, somebody did ask if I, you know, I'd still be doing this at 10 a.m. I guess, which no, that's fine. I wouldn't be. I'd be off cleared frequency by then, and you know, you can amicably share things. I understand that, you know, there's people that have been using a frequency for 100 years. Okay. If it's not being used, then it's not being used. So don't hesitate to do that. And you know, interesting that you say that, Aaron. There might be one of those on the bench at home right now, just for instances like this one. I, I mean, whoever it was made that comment about somebody sitting on a park bench with 10 watts. I would suggest that maybe they get out of the house a little bit more often, and there's more to that nowadays. So Don, I just received mine. Actually, I've been waiting to get a battery, so I got the battery, and that's here. But then um, I also wanted to have the ability to because I'm not going to buy a separate amplifier for the house and do that. This is more of a just kind of a as needed thing, and so I've also got a 48-volt power supply, and hopefully today, we'll see if it happens or not. Amazon's supposed to be delivering some power leads that I can fused power leads. So I feel a little bit more comfortable running it right off a power source. I don't BMSs, although are supposed to have overcurrent protection, stuff like that. I would still feel more comfortable putting a fuse in between it. So that should be here today, and hopefully we'll get out and we'll have a little fun with it. I'm thinking about my friends on AM specifically, and go that route. So that's right. Don says he's going to be bringing a what do you say? Changing the meaning of POTA with power. So awesome. Well, guys, let's let me bring the map back up here. Oh, you know what I need to do before I forget? I do this all the time. Want to make sure that gets in there, and then okay, turn that off. I have forgotten to turn that off, and then I can be home 30 minutes later, and for some reason, I'm still getting spotted at the park. So make sure I turn that off. But looking at the map today, not much up in the northwest there, but west, southwest, south, southeast, and up in the northeast there were most of my my contacts this afternoon. 19 Qs in 14 minutes, averaging 78 Qs per hour, one band, 40 meters, and one mode, 19. No DXCCs today. But the day's not over. Everybody have a happy Easter. I'm actually gonna go home and grab the family. We're going over to my wife's parents' house for lunch, so we'll be heading over there shortly. But everybody have a great Easter, and enjoy the rest of the day. Spend time with your family. Get outdoors. Maybe activate a park and enjoy that. And we will catch everybody later. I think Big Jim and T.O. will be streaming here at 10 o'clock for Ham Church, and we will see everybody later. 73.